right?
Welcome to the Patriot Hour. I'm Michael, your host for April 2nd, 2018. We got Scott, Nate, and Adam in the studio. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get right into it. Okay, we are here. We're in the studio.
In the dark. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, America and the world.
We're in afternoon, but yeah, good afternoon.
Oh, yeah, it's just a little after.
West Coasters are still on the morning time. Lucky dogs. So we're going to get into a quick segment of the latest Q drop, right, Mike?
Yeah.
It was just a couple days ago. There's nothing new out there, but we do have one we want to beat up on.
Let's see here.
I'll try to bring that up here real quick. It's going to be fun. It's a fun one for everybody.
So we got, we had the MSN talking about the red versus blue pill, Matrix reference, coincidence. But yeah, 982 was the real Russia collusion that Q said to read. And, you know, this will tell you the real story. Now, it is quite lengthy, really lengthy, because it's a full story, right?
By the way, it isn't our job to read the whole story.
Yes, and I was just on
Your job, do your job.
I messed that
Well, there
up.
was a comment, and I can appreciate what the gentleman was trying to say, but we're not here to recite everything. You know, some of it is going to be opinionated, and I think we're going to take a few minutes and talk about what our views are. But to sit there and just read because one person out of, by the way, most of you commented, we love you. We love you to death, and you're going to get a few bad ones, but it's not our job to just rehearse and reread everything that's given us. That would be a boring show.
The bad ones are good too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Do your research.
Yep.
Give us feedback, and we'll do our research and respond to you.
Just don't ask us to sit here and read for you. I mean, this isn't a book on tape. You know what I mean? We're...
Yeah, I don't mind reading sometimes and bringing you up, but when they're lengthy, we just we'll definitely leave the link, right?
Yeah.
And then if you guys are watching this, I would imagine on a phone or a tablet, you probably got a way to read it. So that's the least you can do for yourselves.
So this is an opinionated version of what we believe sitting at this. We're going to take a few minutes and talk about what we think. You know, obviously we all believe what Q's trying to say, that the collusion was spun to make Trump look bad. And in order to make a lie almost seem real, you always spin it around on the person you're lying about. You know, Johnny did this.
Yeah, what was it in Nazi Germany at the time? It was say a lie, say it often, repeat it, and then it becomes truth.
Yeah, a repeated lie eventually will make you think it's the truth. It's just propaganda. It's you know, they're not doing anything different than other people have in history. You just brought up the perfect example.
Well, and it makes sense. It's like if they had cheating going on, which we know is real within the DNC itself. Hillary cheated Bernie. Hillary cheated and with the help of the DNC to rise to the top of her platform so that she could even be there for the big show.
Right.
And then they propped up Donald, I guess. However they did that. Did they use bots or misleading things on Facebook to prop up Donald because she thought I was a sure win if I'm up against him at the end?
You said that on the last show, and when you said that, my mind, she really thought, because too many people, CNN and MSNBC and everybody thought, well, he's a reality TV host. No, he's not. What he is a billionaire, but she really thought for some reason that he was the easiest candidate, so she was behind the scenes colluding to prop him up. You know, she felt like he was easier to debate. Well, boy, was she wrong.
Yeah. That's
billionaire businessman, pretty smart man.
Who didn't have to run.
Correct.
Exactly.
He had a perfect life.
So that is a very good point. And so is it not... So if you cheat your own party, your own family, your own where you come from type thing, your roots, Democratic Party, you're cheating everyone around there. Are we not to believe that you wouldn't cheat the Republican Party then and do everything?
Stop there.
It stops there. The buck stops right there. Right?
She only screwed her own party. She didn't screw her neighbor.
So Yeah, and then if you cheat here, you cheat here, and then now that you didn't win, are you done? You go home quietly, or you still maybe light some fireworks, and then run out? If you did do a lot of cheating, and the whole hopes that you'd win, so that your cheating could be covered properly, you'd probably start a fire before you ran out, which would be blame them for everything that we were doing.
That's right.
That's what's kind of coming back around. It's everything. Right. Russia, it was them.
Yeah.
Racist, it was really her.
Then travel the world after you got beat and not go away and just make excuse after excuse after excuse. And this is what scares the hell out of me, guys, is she's not going away. Now, I know a lot of her party has already openly said, the Clinton regime is over. We're not going to... there's some talk of Buttigieg and some other people, but if she's not going away, what does that make you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
I believe, and if I'm wrong, great, I'll look back at this in a couple of years. I think there's going to be an independent party running for the next election, because I just can't imagine that the Democratic Party is going to nominate her. Maybe they will, maybe they won't.
We'll see.
But if they do, I hope they do, because then that should be an easy win again. Right?
Yeah. I agree.
There's too much dirt on this, and you've already had too many people in the DNC come out and say, it was rigged. I mean, you got Warren saying it. You got the DNC chair saying it. The outgoing chair saying it. You got the incoming chair saying it. And now they're all saying, what would Warren just say on the last show? She's, now is the time to get back together and fix the party. Well, okay, well, you're not going to fix it if you don't control what's going on with her, So something's weird's going on. She's out there on her own, and maybe she'll run as an independent. The DNC's trying to separate themselves from her. I don't know. It's going to be entertaining to watch.
Well, I said, they call Russia collusion on Donald. That's been the whole thing. There's been no proof, but we do have proof of this dossier. The Clintons paying for it. The DNC helping pay for it.
The FISA court situation, yes.
Here, they call him a racist, but yet we have Q-dropped photos of Hillary with her mentor, which was this head of the KKK.
Oh, boy.
Stronger together. Again, that was a long time ago, or...
Good spin.
But that's okay to spin it on that side, but not this side.
He denounced the KKK right on his deathbed.
Yeah.
Well, he lived his whole life, 99.9% of his life. He believed in white power and then she gets caught being supported, and she actually said, and I'm not going to try to screw this up too bad, but she did say he is her mentor.
Yeah.
And then later on, when it came out, he denounced everything he ever did.
Oh, so...
Well, but that doesn't stop that you followed him when he was believing in what he believed in.
That's when he was mentoring.
Are you too denouncing what you used to believe in? Because all I heard you, Hillary, say is, well, he apologized and he denounced everything he ever spoke about being KKK. But I didn't hear her say,
and I believe
me
that
too.
More in the case of okay, so we all remember the show Archie Bunker. What was the actual name of it? Was it Archie Bunker show?
I would normally know that until you ask me.
The Family? Not All in the Family. Was it? No, that was
his obnoxious son-in-law, and I remember the way.
Archie Bunker. Was it just called Archie?
Somebody
Bunker?
Google that. Somebody on the Googles over there.
It was Family Matters or something.
No, Family Matters was with Urkel.
Yeah, Steve Urkel. And
hold on, I'll see.
But yeah, so on that note, that guy got
Family.
All in the Family. I was right. Okay,
Yeah.
so All in the Family. That was just a show. And if we remember, the spinoff of that was the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
Because he was a neighbor that moved in.
Correct.
And he gave him hell. Kind of semi-bigot, all that,
way
right?
Way
bigot. All the insinuation, they were there.
Innuendos.
Yeah. But then that was a spinoff. He got his own show, The Jeffersons. They moved out of the
Moving
neighborhood.
on up, yeah.
Right? So what... now that guy, when they got a hold of him years later, I can't remember the actor's name.
I would know
of
if
Archie, the main
I don't
actor.
follow Hollywood.
But he... when they got a hold of him to do another show, which was In the Heat of the Night, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
He specifically said, I'll do another show, but you're going to give me a...
Carol O'Connor.
Correct. He was the sheriff.
Yes.
Yeah. And Junior was
and
his
he
drug
won. He
addicted
made
boy.
sure that he had a a black counterpart that was his own preference because he wanted to get away from that stereotype that he got from that first show that really marked him.
He inherited it. Yeah.
Screeched on Saved by the Bell. Could never get another role. He was other than in like a porno. I think.
I'm the nerd. I'm the nerd. Yeah.
And then that was.
So that's exactly what happened. In heat of the night, he had to pick up said man because Hollywood portrayed him, and you almost look at that and go, oh my gosh, the guy did the show All in the Family or whatever the hell that is, thinking it was a good deal, and at some point it must have hit him right in the head going, my God, they're portraying me as a bigot, and I go to the grocery store
and people that's all they really know him as. That's how people on the couch at home don't know this person. They only ever known him to be on that show, and you get casted. So that is different, right? That's like portrayed racism. That was I was getting into the point with this Trump thing. Nobody really knows him. Only what we've been told, seen, and pushed. Same with Clinton. Do we really know? Now we do see pictures of her, mentor. She said it was her mentor, and this guy used to be that. He's changed. Okay, to me, it's a little different to rise up to be the KKK grand wizard or whatever the heck you are, and then have an epiphany. And that could still be the case.
Maybe he did.
I'm not saying that I know that guy either.
Yeah, on my deathbed
or whatever.
But she never said when
was he your mentor, on his deathbed or
through his life,
through his good years when he was still coherent and not dying.
The picture showed him on stage together, so he wasn't dying in his bed then. So basically, that's exactly what I was trying to get to was. She followed him. She supported him. She used the word mentor while he was a KKK activist.
Yeah.
And then one day he decided when he was dying, and maybe we're all going to be faced with that someday about what we did. But she never said, well, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
All she said was he changed his.
Yeah.
But people don't remember that part of it. They just see the spin.
Well, and then they had the words in the 90s. They called Bill Clinton or her coined it that super criminal or super something. It was pretty derogatory and deemed racist.
Kind of like deplorables?
Yeah, it was another hit word in the 90s. And they've since backed away, apologized. But the point on that is so far we got the Russia and the real collusion that we know that we can all really see everybody is the DNC, Hillary, Russia collusion with the dossier. Now we got this, Trump's a racist for the last year, but really it's like...
And a huge supporter of Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yeah. So what is the spin on that? It's just, I think these people, when they lost, they threw everything that they did at this guy over here. They were hoping in this last year and a half that it would lead to impeachment. And that,
they were praying for it.
They knew it probably wouldn't lead to a Russia one because there was none, but they just hoped anything else along the way.
Here's where they screwed up. If they propped up Trump and helped him get elected, I would like to think they didn't, because I'd like to think the silent majority spoke up. But if they propped him up, that was strike one. And then when they screwed Bernie over, that was strike two. So when she used the word deplorable, that was strike three. So I think at some point in early October or late September, when she used those words, and then she was caught on film like having dizzy spells and her security carrying her to vans and whatnot, at some point, I think the people went, no. And I think that's when they decided her plan blew up in their face. I think she knew before election night she was about to lose. So then they start conspiring about, and we've seen it the last calendar year, all the stuff they throw at him. He's out of shape. He's too old. He's too fat. When's he going to die? That was a stupid question. And then the Russian collusion. And now it's the guns, and now it's border, now it's trade. They keep throwing so much crap at this guy. And it just bounces off them. And they're running. I mean, their heads are spinning like, oh, my God. They're like the ultimate bully. And they keep running into this little stout dude that's not going to give up. And I just find it hilarious that it's backfiring. Every time they turn around, their plan is failing. And they don't have an answer for it, so they just keep throwing stuff. So
the best thing that could happen for us is they nominate her and she wins.
High five that. I want Hillary running again. I'm actually going to start wearing shirts that say, please elect in the primary Hillary, because she's so beatable,
Because people are waking up that we're on her side.
Right. Exactly. And it's not funny, but at the same time, Oh my gosh.
It's not funny at all.
The same people that say, oh, he's a reality TV host, he's this, he's that. Okay, you can describe him as bad as you want. He won. Now, how bad does that make your... I mean,
Yeah.
you were set up to win. And we've seen memes with Obama looking at Hillary going, you know, we had this all set up for you to win, and you still couldn't do it. So...
Read this center one on the screen up there.
Go ahead, Nate. Read that
The
one.
Second Amendment will never be repealed. As much as Democrats would like to see this happen, and despite the words yesterday of former Supreme Court Justice Stevens, no way. We need more Republicans in 2018 and must always hold the Supreme Court.
Must. Always.
So, yeah, let's look at a few of the comments on this, see what we can...
We're going to stir the pot, folks. I still need to get my big wooden spoon to prop up in the corner, but...
I'll read this one. The majority of Americans support sensible gun reform, not repealing the Second Amendment. Don't get worked up. You'll be swooping.
Is that
a new Trump thing?
Our 17-year-old kids,
night.
it is, yeah.
Gun control, gun sense, Second Amendment,
Well,
Parkland.
I totally agree with
students.
that.
I do as well. Gun reform's not bad.
The majority agrees. Sensible gun reform
There it is.
fine.
That's swooping. There's Trump. That's a tweet. But it's swooping.
Nice.
Now, can I ask both of you or all three of you just like a quick 2-second reply? If Obama used Twitter like Trump, would they all be applauding him and saying, "Oh, that's genius! You're reaching it."
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right? We're not dumb to
Of
that,
course.
right?
Trump does it because Trump's against everything that our
'Cause he doesn't
government's
care.
trying
The
to do.
only people that are against this is the other side.
We
the
didn't think of
media.
it first.
Yeah. Well, and exactly. That's
Roosevelt used the fireside chat. He was
Yes.
brilliant for doing so. He got to reach out to the people. They got to hear his voice. So how refreshing is it that we actually get to see, not always elegant, but I don't care. We're not here for elegant. But we get to see Trump's actual thoughts instead of listening to a reporter tell us what he interpreted Trump to say. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
Trump is a businessman, also known as a number man.
Yep.
Just because the replies that everybody sees on social media are bad doesn't mean that's everybody he's getting to with his tweets. He's getting to all the people out there that are going, "Oh, he's right. I don't have to say anything about this."
Right?
yeah.
The people that don't agree with him are the ones that have to say something about it, and those are the minority.
Yeah.
Most sensible people don't argue.
And
You know,
we're-
if you argue with a fool, who's the fool?
That's right.
You're absolutely right. That's the silent majority.
That is it. Exact. Well, and also, how about he's just look what he's doing and how they're tearing it down. Now it's about the last couple things that he promised or getting done. It's like the wall's built, and that's well, he said it was gonna be Mexico's money, and he lied to you. But the wall's done. All these great things are done. It's like little tidbits.
Being done.
Yeah,
the
being
wall
done.
is not done.
Yeah,
But
getting done, moving
we're praying.
forward.
We're praying.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, of course, we didn't think that was going to be built the day that he got in. It takes time. We
Right.
get that, but still, we've seen enough videos. They're doing stuff down there. They're having tests. They're having special forces climb the walls and all these great things.
How
right?
hard? How difficult is it? The test pods they got out there? They got like 3 or 4 to choose from, and they.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold that. Like he said, Mexico is going to pay for it. So at the end of like his 4 years, let's say he's like knocked out 6 or 7 of the 8 things he really said he was going to try to get done.
What a failure!
Yeah,
Because they do that
The end
now.
of his
that's
8
what I'm
years,
saying.
you mean.
Right?
Most of the time, well, yeah, at the end of 8 years.
What do they say
But
now? He filed
still,
bankruptcy
you
5
go
times,
over,
Mike.
We go over like Obama's huge 5. We'll just go back one presidency, the 5 or 6 things he ran on, like the huge hope change, and this over here. Like you go over them now, you don't see 6 or 7 of them get done. It was like 1 or 2 maybe, and kind of halfway, and that's the whole thing. His was the healthcare. It didn't happen right away. People didn't beat a dead horse the first 3 years that it wasn't done.
You want to call that a victory? Then I'm
No,
gonna tell
that's
you,
what I'm.
yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. They're partial victories are for their side. That see, we got it. That was the most important thing. But he said it was going to happen this way in the beginning. Go back to his video saying you'll be able to keep whoever you have now. That wasn't the case.
Yep.
So that's like the wall. You know, it's like the wall is going to get built. So if it does get built, but it ends up being tax dollars at first, and then if there's some little clutch he's got to regain the money back, or
They
He
won't-
said Mexico was going to pay for the wall. He didn't say Mexico was going to pay for it up front.
there you go. That's
You
how
start
I'm saying
seizing
it.
monies at the border. You think
But
CNN
honestly, I would be fine even if they never end up paying for it.
I don't care.
I'm glad my
make us a
tax
ton of
dollar
money.
went towards that.
They're gonna.
It'll save us a ton and make us a ton.
Yeah.
They're gonna pay for it regardless in the end.
And remember, guys, I don't ever want to fall victim to, when we talk about protecting our borders, it is not a racist thing against Mexico. I want all of my borders protected, but you see,
There's no way we're going to put walls around our whole country.
right. You don't need to.
This is the biggest point where
Right.
we've got illegal immigrants coming in. That's the first place we need to start blocking.
And
Yes.
they're proving that
Yes.
now, and this is what we're scared of, these 1,000 marchers plus, and by the time they get to the border, there's going to be probably more than
There's
that.
going to be
And the
tens
cameras
of
are going to be
thousands.
on.
We don't even know that illegal number. Everyone's like, oh, we got 20 million, or the federal government says 11. Are they keeping track of illegals coming in? How would
He's
you
talking
do
about
that?
the ones just marching right now.
The ones that are marching currently.
It's going to
Yes.
be tens of thousands
Oh,
by the
yeah,
time
yeah,
they
yeah.
get to our border.
No, but I'm talking about the, how they
Right.
give us a number of illegals in the country.
Yeah.
How do they know?
Yeah, how do you know they're illegal?
Let me blow your
They
minds.
don't sign the census.
Yeah, there's no.
I'm going to blow everybody's mind out there in make-believe world right now. And I'm dying for especially one of your answers. How do they know these 1,000+ marchers that started in Central America were heading to the United States? How did they know that? These people could just be marching to get into Mexico and
Because they threw out flyers and told them to
so
come
it's
running.
a narrative, it's a storyline, and who stands to lose? We're not going to win this with live TV. Who stands to lose? It's our border guards. You know,
Yeah.
this is a conspiracy, just like, and I know we started with the Russian collusion, but this is the big spin. This is what they keep doing. They're going to throw those people at the border,
biggest
and
people
when
that are gonna
something
lose-
bad happens, an officer fires a gun, and he probably won't fire it unless he really has to, because I'm sure Trump and his officers are telling the border,
Putting
no matter
top-notch
what
agents
happens,
there.
Well, this does have to do with the Russia collusion or that side of it, because this is just another facet that they've been
part of the end game.
So how come we see all these people on TV? Feinstein, Maxine Waters, Bill Clinton, same stuff Trump was saying, just 15, 20 years ago. And it's like, well, times have changed. What has changed to make everyone think that we, hell with borders?
the person's mouth it came out of.
Yeah, or the voting
If this was
structure. That
if this was going on now, I would. If Obama was in office, do you even think most of these marches and the kids marching out of school and people marching up from Central America would even be? No, it doesn't fit an agenda. The only agenda right now is dethrone Trump. This is just another ploy. And when this one doesn't work, very quickly we're going to see another one in the news. How rapidly are these coming, guys? This is coming like every month. There's something
Because they can't win.
They already have
keep trying.
They already
They're
have a
trying.
recipe.
They're trying.
That's right. They have a recipe, in my opinion, and at the bottom, that recipe is called "How to Bake a Get Your Ass Out of Office," situation. They've tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now they're doing the marchers. They've already tried the Second Amendment with the kids. This is starting to get a little scary because at what point?
I don't think we have a whole lot to worry about. I think we got the best man in office, and he's going to do the best job of keeping us safe.
Yeah, I think there's a very different story going on behind the scenes. What we're seeing, what he says to the news, what he says to his Twitter, and then between like the Q drops. If you read the Q drops, follow them, do the research into each little drop, you'll see this story play out within the next 2 to 3 days with his tweet.
Yeah.
But not so much what he says in the mainstream. And they say, do not watch the mainstream; it's fake.
Correct.
Q keeps telling us that.
Right.
So
you brought it up.
It's almost like Hillary.
obvious.
Hillary would meet with the bankers secretly, tell them something. Don't listen to what I say to the masses. I have to say something to them.
Right.
So Trump's saying shit to them,
Yeah.
but different to the real supporters, which is his tweet directly to you, or Q drops, which give you a bigger picture. But if you watch the mainstream, you'll just be as confused as everyone else.
Absolutely. We talked about this in Garage Talk. He's asking, not Trump, Q is asking, or has had asked, that we do our own research. And we said, at the end of the day, y'all, if and I've seen some of the comments, well, Q doesn't exist, you guys are all idiots. At the end of the day, all we've done is better inform ourselves and dig into things a little deeper. And as a community, we're starting to talk. The comments are coming. The subscriptions are coming. It's not that Mike and I are saying anything different than you listeners. It's just we have a platform and you're coming here. And if you have a platform, let us know. We'll follow that too. But
Yeah.
it's just downright scary that they're not going to stop. This man is going to go through his first 4 years with stuff thrown at him every month,
Oh, yeah.
every day. They're never going to say,
Don't say month,
congratulations,
day.
we
Oh,
did
yeah.
something good. And you'll notice in the next election, in order to capture some of us, you'll hear a Democrat nominee say, well, we needed to protect the borders. And I'm going to say to all the fans and listeners and Q people out there, no, they're not. Yeah. They just bullshitted a guy and made him out to be a fool over the last 4 years. Good politicians tell you what you want to hear. Guys like Trump irritates you for one reason, and why is that? Because he's trying to actually get something done.
Yeah.
When the Democrat comes in and says that, just tell them, yes, we will do that. I'll put a 6 foot taller fence around my house.
Yeah.
I'll protect my workplace. You guys are making it to where, just like the politicians and just like the actors, protect yourself. Don't worry about everybody else.
Because we're not going to take care of you, right? Take care of yourself.
I will take care of
No,
myself. That's what you guys are trying to get us to do.
And we're factual people over here. We like, I have seen firsthand the pedophile rings getting broke down worldwide. Yeah. This wasn't happening under the last administration. So was it bigger than that? This guy coming in, why was all of Hollywood, all of the media, 93% of it, all of the Democratic Party, almost half the Republican Party against this guy?
They all had something to lose.
I mean, it's huge. It's like you got this guy, outsider, not part of something. Right. And everyone's like, no, he's with them. It's a big guys maybe. But if you look at it for what it is and you just take all the conspiracy and anything out, it's just like, here's a guy that, he's made himself in the civilian world, a business entrepreneur, rose up, and he's going to come in and run. And that's what our Constitution says. It should be the normal man that runs off and has a heart, desire in his heart to fix what's going wrong, what they see isn't right, and go fix it for a little term, and then come back to what the hell you did.
Absolutely.
Not go there, hang out for 30 years, promise. I mean, we've seen with the Clintons, the Bushes, promise, a little bit more tax dollar, but yet issue after issue all around the world.
Yeah, and we're just going downhill.
What have we gained?
We're just going downhill.
That's what I'm saying, and everyone begs for that.
Yeah.
Everyone was begging for more of that.
You nailed it right on the head. And why do you think he won? I know why he won. Listen, you can call that a fact or opinion.
30 states.
He won. He demolished her because he is something new. And like you just said, and as a history buff, I'm telling you, the gentleman that wrote the Constitution and formed our country all said the Thomas Jeffersons and the John Adams and the George Washington turned down a third term.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to do your own digging. But these people believed in coming in and serving your country for 2 to 4 years, maybe 6 years. But they never said anything about anything.
Lifelong.
All they ever said was
come in,
make
it a career,
serve, and go back to your homestead and take care of your farm or whatever career that you had. They would be rolling over in their graves, and this is why I think this is almost like a fruition. I don't know what you call it, but Trump is almost 1776. He didn't have to do this. He's never been in politics, and he went running into this fire to take it on because he believed maybe this is ordained, maybe it's supposed to happen. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm just glad it's going on. What I'm disappointed is there's not enough people that are opening their eyes to, oh my God. Maybe I don't like him personally, but maybe there is some good behind this.
Him doing it has a whole lot to do with his arrogancy.
He had,
and I love it.
Amen.
I love it. Go in and show the people that you're going to do what you said you're going to do. I'm
not a puppet. You're not going to push me around. So,
I got a video I want to show here. Now that we were talking about that, it's a perfect little point. Let me get this up. Web browser. Paste. All right, let's watch this here first.
administration was one extreme, and then we came into the Reagan administration, yet
nothing changed.
Nothing changed. What you're saying is that no matter what the political leanings, they seem to be playing the same game.
As long as you're playing their game, it doesn't matter who you vote for, who you put in office. They all belong to the other side. They're the pockets of the Illuminati. When you quit electing professional politicians, when you quit electing the guy who looks nice on television because he speaks good and he looks like the guy you wanted to marry or something like that, you're playing right into their hands. You know, they made it so impossible for another Abraham Lincoln to get elected to the office of president that it's a wonder that we even have a chance at all. We need to send people to Congress and to government who are going to clean house. Kick all the members of secret societies out of the bureaucracy. Lock them up. Try them for treason. Because they are traitors.
So one thing that may help is term limitations.
We must have term limitations, and it must be only one term. And forget all this nonsense that anybody goes to Washington and don't know what's happening. They don't know what's happening simply because they haven't taken the time as citizens to understand how our government works before they ever go to Washington. You see, it should be a process that starts in infancy. It works its way up, and everybody should be taking part in the government.
Now, if someone came in to office with this kind of knowledge and with this kind of intent to really push these people out, would they not be eliminated immediately?
Not if they have the people behind them, because what the people would do in one fell swoop, in one election, would elect people who've never served in government before, kick the incumbents out, send citizens to Washington. And here's the way it has to be done. You know, right now, you don't even pay your congressman. You know who pays your congressman? The federal democracy of the District of Columbia. The federal government pays your congressman, who's supposed to be representing your state and you. The federal government is a foreign country to your state. Why should he represent you?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Folks, you got to look at your own heart and your own mind. You lay your head down at night, you're all by yourself. We're not here to convince you. We're just here to open that mind. We're Cooper fans. But we're doing this because of what you just heard him and some of the great Trump videos. Don't be afraid to accept something that is uncomfortable to the eye. You know, I'm tired of lawyers.
Yeah. No, term limit. I don't know if that meant 4 or 8, but I'm thinking what's in place now is 8, so that would be a total term limit.
Well, for president, 2 terms.
President, yeah,
right.
2 terms.
You'd say one term limit would be 4 years, which I'm not for right now, for one reason and one reason only. He needs 8 years to fix everything that's happened.
Well, it'd take 50 probably.
What they're speaking
but he needs his 8.
Yeah,
what they're speaking of are senators and congressmen. I mean,
Yeah.
the 20 and 40 years. I mean, some of these
I think
people,
he was fine with 4 or 8 for a president, but what were like the Congress that come in and they have the seat forever. Even if they did 4 or 5, they retire, they get that.
Well, how is an agenda created, Mike? How is it if you had 4 years to do something versus having 30 years or 40 years to do something? And if you're a part of these said societies or whatever, you can get a lot of scary stuff done in 30, 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
You've
start
been around.
thinking a little differently, or it's just too much. Lots of past presidents or great men throughout history, we can look up their quotes, and it would be like, they used to say it back, I think, in the early 1800s. If anybody came from the population and came down there and then left after 4 years or 8 years, and were really, really rich, something was wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's not weird that Bernie's one of them guys. I mean, I still feel sorry for Bernie.
Lots of these,
bit,
Adam Schiff.
Paul Ryan, I just heard the other day, might be stepping down and might retire, and the reason is, and I'm going to do my own digging, but what I'll tell you is what I was told and what I see and I read is that he hasn't made much money at all because he's a representative, and he thinks in private practice he can go make more money. Well, now he's starting to think like a father and a husband, and maybe he thinks that, oh my gosh, we're not ever going to get any of this stuff done. But here's a guy that why doesn't he have 20, 30, 40 million dollars like the rest of them do?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, what about that?
He's so close too. And I don't say I agree with him, but
the memos that got leaked, the Republican memo and then the Democratic one, and the heads of those, these guys actually have a little bit more clearance. They're a special panel within Congress. But the one guy, Nunes, that they're beating on all the 92% of the media, that he's bad and wrong. Like his net worth, like, you know, he gets $170 a year for counting out in DC. We know that's not a lot. It's equal to 80 grand.
What's
probably
he worth?
Outside. But yeah, his net worth was like 60 grand. Yeah. He's invested in things that have nothing to do with like the DC political. It's like a winery. Yeah. Like, how are you going to benefit anything with Congress or cutting deals with people when you own, like, your side thing is just some winery?
Correct.
So his net worth, even though he makes 180 a year, is like 60 grand. It's not a huge thing. It's
others have 17 and 28 million. Who's the lady that
the head guy from the opposite, the Democratic side? That guy. He owns a hotel. There was some shady stuff that had happened at that hotel with like pedophile or you know, just that angle. So it's like, man, and then the amounts of money in these
when the
Democrats.
soldiers were killed, who's the colorful lady from, was it Florida, that was we're gonna impeach Trump? She's a representative. She's not even living in the district. She lives in a mansion. She's got millions of dollars in the bank, and she's a career politician. And yet people are listening. Oh yeah, Trump is a racist, and then, you know, we had a black soldier die. Well, we had a black one. We had a Italian American soldier die. We had a Caucasian American. We had a Mexican American. But she wanted, you know, what he said to his wife. You know, well, how do you know what? Well, we phone tapped him. So you set him up, and then you spun. But she's worth a lot of money. You know, Feinstein. You dig into it. How did Bernie Sanders make all the money? If he's making 172 grand a year, you tell me how he
guys. That's what I don't get. Like, so this Republican Nunes or something on that memo again. You know, everyone's like, oh, the Republicans are for the rich and to keep themselves rich, and Democrats are for the poor. That's the biggest guys, is to have somebody that's really, really rich, like the Clintons or a lot of these Democrats that are like, we're rich, they're rich, we're for you, but they're for themselves. And
I used to believe,
but we're not seeing that. It's not.
We literally go to the local Legion and we listen to people. Oh, we love Hillary, we love the Democratic Party because they're for the poor.
Now people will say this. Well, look at Trump, he's really rich. Now you think he's for the poor? Well, that's all I've been seeing. Not that he's for the poor, but like
he creates
he's
jobs.
Doing what he said he was going to do. That's all that matters. That's where you judge somebody, not on what they have in their bank account, but actions. So let's look at all these people that have been in the positions, people, for 30 plus years, 20 plus years, promise you the world.
What do they do with their money?
And they have not delivered.
Al Gore, 5-star energy. We got to do 5-star energy.
Yes.
Private jets, all by himself flying around. I mean, he never took commercial flights. He never got on. He never sat next to me, and I've got over 1 million miles on Southwest, and I'm telling you, I've never seen Al Gore. If he cared about the economy or the atmosphere, he wouldn't have his multi-million-dollar home and private jet, you know. But he sold y'all. He got you. And he made money off that, and he's part of the Heinz family. You know what? We can go on and on and on, but you're absolutely correct. The hypocrisy of we're for the poor.
And that's right on all sides. We get it, right?
Yeah, they find a hook. And the inner city people have been voting Democrat for years, and they've been promised the same
more
stuff.
Heavily on the left, for sure, though. Heavily on the left.
Trump is definitely for the poor. Obama was for the votes.
Correct.
Well, and that's the big thing, like you said. These people do sometimes start out right at this local level. They promise everyone in their state this, and then they get up there. Deals are made sometimes, and then you just see the agenda go. And if they're up there too long, the agenda can really steer this country, can't it?
Trump will do what he can to help out the working man, no matter if you make minimum wage or $30 an hour.
Yeah.
Obama was helping out people that weren't working.
I never seen him do anything.
Giving handouts constantly to people that weren't working. Didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, that's the left.
Because he gets votes that
didn't
way.
Donahue,
they will go vote.
Didn't Phil Donahue and Oprah
do
shows on him? And all the good deeds this man has done. I mean, prior to him running for president, he bailed out a lady in Michigan. Her husband died, and they owed a bunch of money on the farm. He paid it off. He pulled over and helped somebody. You know, he flew a sick kid. This man's stories, before he was ever president, everybody called him a hero. He went to parties with Reverend Jackson, and Don King would go to boxing matches. And, You know, he promotes women, and
before he was political, he
he's an
showed up at the
asshole.
Clintons' parties. I mean, I don't know if I'm sure he's always political to some extent.
They always said he bugged out.
Yeah, but he was not a
like,
politician.
Him and his wife.
Yeah, he would go there, show up to make his. You know, he was invited. He wanted to. You know,
want to stay for the after party? No.
Yeah, no thanks. I got the wife and kids here. I'm busy.
Rubbing shoulders with.
So I know we started with the collusion, and we're sorry, but we did say in Garage Talk that we were going to spin a little bit. I know we were probably getting out of time.
But the real Russia collusion, we could all probably agree on, is they probably more the people that were yelling at the loudest at somebody else.
Yes, correct.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease, you know. So
what else did we touch base on? The border again. But yeah, you know, I
pay attention to the border. Now, listen, this isn't Q talking. This is me talking. It's just I'm watching what's been going on the last couple of months, and this is just another one of those things that it's gonna get on TV, and something bad's gonna happen, and they're gonna spin it like the Hogg story. You know, he was there. They're gonna use him as a narrative. Hogg wasn't there. It's all garbage. Open your eyes, listen, and comment. I mean, if you got something, just
what's
comment.
gonna happen with that caravan is there's a guy like me, you, or you, that goes home every night to his family that would stand with a gun in his hand,
Defending
with a
the border.
uniform on, defending his country, and that guy is going to get crucified because he's going to do one thing that the media doesn't see right.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen once they hit our border.
Pray for your ICE and your border security guys, because I'm with Nate on
They
this.
need a lot of help right now.
I truly believe this is a setup. This is a big setup to give Trump a black eye and get agendas across. So pray, please pray. If you don't believe in God, at least have happy thoughts. Something.
I don't have the links, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna give a shout out to Dennis Michael Lynch. Years ago, I watched his 3 documentaries, and I think it's called They Come, They Will Come, but it's about the borders. He was a documentary filmmaker making something about the Hamptons, and every day driving in to make this documentary in the Hamptons, he kept seeing a guy on the side of the road with a flag, and they finally stopped one day. He told his camera guy, grab the camera, let's go talk to this guy. And it started this whole thing with this guy. And he did 3 documentaries about the border. Really good. He actually took this an illegal immigrant in that he met and let him start living with them. And it was a real good friendship that started. But then he got with an ICE agent at part of the documentary to talk, and he said harboring one is a felon. So he ended up having to let this guy move out because he found out he was breaking the law. But other than that, really good stuff in these documentaries, and I suggest everybody out there to watch them.
Say the name.
The guys
again.
here.
Say the keywords.
Talk for a minute. Let me look this up so I get it right. And I'm gonna.
As
far as links, I don't. It's not on YouTube. I've already looked. You're not gonna be able to find it on
The
YouTube.
Reporter
but
or
Netflix. This documentary. These documentaries.
I'm definitely not against anybody coming into our country. Just do it legally. Just
yeah.
You know, it does cost money.
We have a process here. Most other countries do as well.
It costs money. It takes time.
I can't imagine being in a situation where I knew right across that river or that wall is a better life, and I want to provide it for my kids. I'm sure
It'd
some
be
of
real
it is
hard not to
desperate,
just
but you
run,
can't look at
but-
it like this. When you're an American, and it's not that we're better than everybody. It's there is a law, and
We're better than a whole lot because they want to be here.
yeah, and if you want to take them all in, you better be prepared for the consequences of that. You must start giving up your own money and your own rights in order to take them all in. And by the way, it's almost like history always says, you can't give freedom. We've tried to give democracies to other countries. We went in and blown people up and fought wars. You know why we are a free country? Because our ancestors bled for it. They earned it. You can't give something like freedom. And by the way, the word democracy is garbage. It's republic, right? Our ancestors bled and died and fought for what they have. You can't give that stuff away and hope to God. It's almost like your children. And I'm at that age now where I'm victim to it. If I buy my daughter or my son a car versus them buying their own car, earning the money, which way will that car last longer? The way I bought it, or they earn their money and they'll take care of it? You can't give.
They buy it, they earn it. That thing will be spit shined every day. You buy it, give it to them. It'll be
They're going
wrecked
to beat it up
16
and come
times.
right back to you and say, Dad, I need something new.
I need a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called They Come to America. They come to
It's actually heartbreaking when the ICE agent steps in.
America. And there's a, oh, it looks like he's got a part 4 out now.
Oh, man.
So I've only seen part 1 through 3.
Just show them, yeah.
Really good.
Just show them that.
Here's a.
And we'll end on it too.
Let's see, that's a good one. The cost of Obama's legacy, part 3. But let me see if I can just find the.
They come to America part. I see.
I'll go to 1. See
Yeah.
I'll show the first one. A little trailer here.
There's 2. They
There's
come to
right here,
America
right here.
trailer.
Okay, so let me grab that.
Folks, look this up, and take your own time.
Copy. Paste. Okay, so I got that up. Let me get this in a browser here. Input. Web browser. Paste. Open.
It does. It makes you look at both sides of it a little bit. You were heartfelt when the ICE agent stepped in, but he was just doing his job. But everybody's got a job to do. But the number one job is just defend the
focuses
Constitution.
on illegal immigration and its impact on this country. It's called
Yes, they do.
They Come to America. Is this a protest film?
Absolutely not. It's a Wake Up America film.
The builders that used to hire me and my guys come up here to get the cheap labor, and they cut me right out of the picture. Now my tax-paying American citizens aren't paying the bills anymore. Who's paying the bills? These guys? They get their checks and they send it back home.
I don't want to make children here in this country, so I want to make money in this country and return to my country.
Do you think that you're taking jobs away from Americans?
I think.
Yeah.
United States is not the best in the world, you know? The humanity change. Today, you pay for me. Tomorrow, my son pay for your son.
Do you have any way of monitoring whether or not a student is of legal or illegal status?
We do not ask that question.
Illegal immigration is the biggest problem this country has in the years to come.
Look around you. The people of the United States are not able to achieve the quality of life they want with 300 million people.
What do you say to the people? Say, open our arms, open our doors, welcome them here.
We open our arms more than any other nation. The problem is, we have 20 million Americans that are out of work. We have schools closing. Why?
You're very emotional right now.
I went to the school.
You went to the school.
My brothers and sisters all went to the school.
Is it safe to say we could be looking at more schools closing because their parents are not legal, they are not paying into the system?
Well, there's no doubt.
You contend that the borders are being run by the drug cartel of Mexico.
Absolutely.
We have to film you from behind because why?
Because a lot of the people right across this fence a mile away that kill people daily.
There's somebody behind it.
It is so easy to get into this country.
What you're looking at right over there, those white buildings, it is a cartel headquarters for distribution of drugs in this area. I will tell you, you go near there, you're dead. You're dead.
You face the drug cartel.
Why is it you've been meeting with so much resistance and getting rejected at so many film festivals and people refusing to show your film?
You know, that's a great question. Where has our common sense gone?